Private police training company accused of encouraging unconstitutional police tactics, glorifying violence, and denigrating women and minorities in New Jersey is registered to train officers right here in Michigan.
That was pretty shocking. The state's now investigating street cop training and has suspended their eligibility to receive state dollars designated for law enforcement training. This all stems from a 2021 police training conference. Will Jones started looking into this, and Will, you discovered concerns, real concerns, about these private police training vendors and really who is monitoring them.
Karen and Damon, I did some digging and discovered that there is not much oversight in Michigan on post-academy training for Michigan police officers. Private police training vendors are not even required to register with the state, so that means that these companies are operating with no oversight at all from the state of Michigan.
Have a day where you go out and go, I'm going to pull over 20 people in a row for the sole purpose of asking them a series of questions and make up your own questions. Something as simple as, hey, how you doing?
This is one of several videos released in a report by the New Jersey Office of the State Comptroller following an investigation of a law enforcement training conference in Atlantic City attended by nearly 1,000 police officers from across the country. At this 2021 conference, hosted by Street Cop Training, instructors seemingly encouraged unconstitutional police practices. But that was not their only offense. For example, the report details a presenter using a meme of a monkey after describing a traffic stop involving a 75-year-old black man.
They denigrated women and racial and ethnic minorities. They promoted a warrior mentality and glorified violence. They belittled internal affairs.
It's unknown if any Michigan police officers attended the conference. But up until the release of the comptroller's report, Street Cop Training was eligible for state funds to train Michigan police officers.
We reviewed that report and were alarmed by it.
Tim Burgoyce leads MCOLS, or the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards. He says while an investigation is underway, Street Cop Training can no longer receive state dollars. But that action doesn't prevent any of Michigan's 580 law enforcement agencies from using their own funding sources for Street Cop Training. The Troy Police Department was set to host Street Cop Training in the spring, but the department telling Local 4, quote, ultimately, Troy Police Department made the decision based on the information from MCOLS to cancel being a host agency for this training company. Troy Police Department has never hosted one of their classes in the past. Street Cop Training responded to the fallout from the comptroller's report on YouTube, saying quality control measures have since been implemented.
We do important work, and there is no place for demeaning, harassing, or hateful words or jokes in our training.
There are more than 100 registered private police training companies in the state with over 1,100 registered courses, but not all private vendors register with MCOLS.
They know agencies will pay for that training with other funding sources that they have.
So when we're teaching...
Armed with 25 plus years of law enforcement experience, Ed Dreslinski owns a police training company that is registered with MCOLS.
It's a big responsibility. I take it very seriously.
And he says so do those who are leading law enforcement agencies.
If they're going to send them to a training, they want to get the value out of it.
That value is supposed to be in reducing police misconduct that can cost lives and taxpayers millions of dollars. ACLU staff attorney Mark Fancher believes the conduct at the 2021 Atlantic City Police Conference encourages the type of behavior that leads to bad outcomes.
It's not as though this is just people talking about something that they fantasize about. This is something that officers actually do, and we've seen examples of it.
Some changes are coming in Michigan. MCOLS is planning to roll out this year in-service training requirements beyond annual firearm proficiency exams for police officers, and the state has given the commission more resources to monitor the training. But Burgoyce stresses law enforcement agencies will continue to use their own funding sources to provide additional training.
The marketplace ultimately decides, and people won't pay or continue to pay for training that's not good and not effective.
Even if there is no centralized government monitor of these programs, at least the chiefs of police, the heads of police organizations who send their officers to these trainings should make it their top priority to make sure that their officers are being properly trained.
Police departments can hire who they want to if they're paying for it out of their own funding sources. So these departments can still hire street cop training. Street cop training does have upcoming training here in Michigan listed on their website. We're live in Detroit. Will Jones, Local 4.
Wow, good job exposing this, Will. Hopefully these police chiefs are going to listen. I do have a question, though. Did MCOLES have any solutions to getting more oversight on this?
Well, Karen, it's ultimately up to the legislature to give them more resources to see how these companies are operating. So they say right now they're doing the best that they can with the staffing that they do have, but they don't believe this is a serious problem. They stress that the marketplace will weed out bad actors.
All right, I'm sure you'll stay on top of it. Thank you, Will. And by the way, you can see the New Jersey Comptroller's full report right now. We posted it on clickondetroit.com. Also, our crime and safety expert, Darnell Blackburn, he's also a police trainer. He teaches about the impact of implicit bias. So tomorrow at 7 a.m. on Local 4 Plus, he's going to share with us the importance of understanding how implicit bias affects officers on the job. So make sure to join us for that part of the story.